All right, there we go. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is write your homework in your planner, and the homework tonight is to finish your journal cover, your garden journal cover by Friday. And number 2 says to read the announcements on home base. I have a link here from the presentation slides, but if you can't remember how to access the home base, just a reminder, if you go to our Google Classroom and scroll down, the link is right here. Okay, so we have some new announcements. Remember that if you have a question or a comment to email me. So I'm getting some people that are asking me questions or commenting on things on Google Classroom. That's really not an effective way for me to get back in contact with you. So if you could email me, that would be amazing. Our first recorded Zoom session is now up and can be found at your subject's homepage. So if you click on Gardening Home, you will see that I have our recorded Zoom session from the first day of school. To help you get organized, you can use the quick link over here, my student schedule template, to create a schedule of your own. I know that some of you already have printed out hard copies, but this is just nice because you can keep links here. So I have an example. I did this in my advisory class yesterday, so I'll just show you their example. But in 8th period, what I did was I linked our Zoom directly to it. And I also linked my home base classroom directly to it. And if you didn't know how to do that, what you can do is you can copy a URL address, you highlight the word that you would like to add the link to, and you can press this button that says insert link, and then you paste it into there and then click apply, and then it turns into a link. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the link. Okay, so you can use this if you want. All right, and then finally, Mr. Bessent mentioned this on his Flipgrid video that you should have seen in advisory yesterday, but just in case you didn't, he did mention to avoid attending teachers' Zoom meetings when they interfere with another class session. So let me give you an example. If I let you out a little bit early today and you want to get ahead and just sign into your next teacher's classroom, avoid doing that until like 5 minutes, 10 minutes prior to the class actually starting, because what's happening is that teachers aren't familiar with their students yet, and then they're looking at their roster for the current class to see if you're on it, and it's just taking away time from instruction. So just avoid doing that if you wouldn't mind. Okay, now I have to close that. All right, so number 3, where can you find recorded Zoom meetings? Normally I'd call on people, but since there's only a few of you, I'm just gonna go over it. Recorded Zoom meetings can be found on your garden homepage, like I showed you. And the reasons that you would want to watch a recorded Zoom meeting would be if you were absent or if you need to review any information that you might have missed, okay? So the agenda for the day is to work on your garden journal, or I'm going to go over the instructions for the garden journal cover. And then after that, you're going to work on the assignment. So let's jump right into that. So you should see that I posted a new assignment. You might get emails for when I post new assignments. Just know that when I post it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do it right away. I have some people already submitting these to me. It should show you the due date. So just know that I'm just preparing for the class maybe a day in advance or so. So you're going to click on the link here and you'll click on instructions. And I'm going to read the instructions here. So you're going to make a copy of the document below. This will be your digital garden journal. You're going to personalize the cover with pictures of things that you like and garden related things. Then you will respond to the questions on the following slide about your experience in the garden. So you're going to click on this. And then of course, as always, you're going to click File, Make a Copy of the entire presentation. And once you've made a copy of this and you can edit it, I want you to change the name here to your full name. So in Elizabeth, in your case, you write capital E with Elizabeth and then capital R for Rojas, okay? And the two things that we're going to be focusing on today is this page, the garden journal page, as well as your garden experience page. So I'm going to go over this one first. If you scroll up on here, you can see the specific instructions for what I want you to do. So it says to decorate the page with pictures of you, your interests, your hobbies, or garden related things that you enjoy or you want to try. And I want there to be at least 8 images, including 3 real photographs from your own life. So virtual learning is tough because it's hard for me to get to know, you guys. I mean, like Elizabeth, for example, I already know her because I had her last year, but I mean, Naya, who else do I have on here right now? Ellie, Paige. I don't know you guys, and I want to get to know you more. So it would help to have, like, personalized photos so that every time I open this up and I grade your stuff, because you will be using this for adding assignments to it, I will have like a visual image of who you are. And then when it comes time to come back to school, it'll make it a lot easier of transition for me. Okay, so here's the criteria. You're going to include your name, so your full name here, first and last. You're going to include text to describe your images. So whatever images that you pop up, you can add a text box by inserting text box and then dragging it over to wherever you want. And you can make the font however you want. I also want the photos to be school appropriate, of course. And then when you're done, you're going to turn it into Google Classroom. I want you to personalize this as much as you can. So I do want it to continue saying garden journal so that we know what it is, but you can change the font type, you can change the font size, you can change where this is, as long as you have the title and your name and then the criteria that's listed below. I'll be happy. Okay. Before I move on, I saw that there was a chat, so I'm just going to pull that up real quick. How do I put a picture of myself on Chromebook? That's a good question. So what you can do, Paige, is you can take, do you have a phone? I'm assuming you all have phones. Okay, perfect. So if you have a cell phone, you can take pictures from your phone by emailing them to yourself. So let me just pull up my own phone right now. So if you go to your photos, and then you click the little arrow thing here. Maybe I should show you on my computer. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so I have this random picture of an email, and there is a button on the bottom of the screen that has an arrow. I know you can't really see it very well on my computer, but you can press on that, and then this option will pop up on your screen. Click on Gmail, and this is, I guess, only relevant to people who have iPhones. Sorry, I don't know the Android phone very well. But if you click on Gmail, what you can do from there is you can click on, or you can type in your email for your school address, and then you can send it. You can usually, I think, only send like a couple of pictures at a time. Otherwise, it's too much to send for your phone. I've tried that before. I mean, you can try sending them all and see if it works. I think it depends on the size of the images. But does that help, Paige? Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. And okay, so that covers the garden journal cover. So the next thing I want to go over is your garden experience. So I want to know how much experience you have in the garden, as well as some other things. And let's see, I need to zoom in here. So just answer these questions for me in the boxes below. The first question is, what experience do you have gardening, if any, and just to describe your experience. So for example, Elizabeth, I'm just going to keep using Elizabeth as an example. Sorry, Elizabeth. She would probably mention here that she has experience in this class prior, and then whatever other experience that she might have outside of the class. Number 2 is, do you have a garden or space to garden at home? And if you do, I want you to kind of explain what the space is. So just like, I mean, if you have like a couple of pots because outside on your patio, or if you actually have a raised bed, or if you whatever the situation is, I'd like to know to see what we're working with. And if you don't have one, think about it. If you don't, do you think that you could start one? Do you think your parent or guardian would be okay with that? Number 3, what kinds of things do you hope to learn this year in Gardening Online? So what kind of stuff specifically are you interested in? I'm pretty flexible with the course. So if you have ideas of things that you'd like to learn about, I'm open to it. And finally, what do you hope to achieve by taking this class? So this is like a goal kind of question. So by the end of this class, what do you hope to have been able to do? Okay. And then you don't have to move on to number 4. This is just, I'm getting ahead here and preparing things in advance. The only things that I need you to do are the garden journal cover and the garden experience. Your table of contents so far is already updated by me, but this is something that you will going forward continue to update on your own. Okay, let me see if I can drag this back down. There we go. Okay. All right. So that pretty much covers the instructions. Now I just kind of want you to, if you haven't already, make a copy and start working. But before you do, I want to see if you guys have any questions for me. The warm-up was on the Bellworks slide. So whenever you log in, you should see that I'll have this up on the screen. And so you'll take a look at the Bellwork and do everything in order. And just notice that if something's in italics, it's something that you're supposed to do. If something's not in italics, it's something you're supposed to respond to in your Bellwork. Do you have the Bellwork page already? Page? If you don't, there's a link to it on the Bellwork slide from the first day of school. So, okay, you're saying, wait, what? So I'm assuming you're confused. So I'm gonna show you really quick. So if you go to the first day of school Bellwork slide, you make a copy of this document. And this is the document that you're actually filling out. And then you'll turn in to me. Does that help? Okay. I'm not seeing a response, so I'm assuming it's okay, but if it's not, just let me know. So can you go yes? I'm not sure what that means. Can you go yes? Can you go? Like, can you go? You guys, you can take off your chat. I mean, you can take off your mute if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Okay, so I'm assuming you're asking if you can get off of the Zoom call, and yeah, you can if you don't need any help. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna probably end up doing the same lesson again because I have a feeling that people are gonna start logging in at 8 o'clock. So you can definitely log back in if you need other help, okay?